Hi, I'm back with more fertility journey Q&A. So to get started, I think I'll be doing like maybe 3 questions a video depending on like the questions and maybe how they correlate or something because I have like so many questions written down that people ask. Um So for this video, I think I'm going to answer, let's see. So I have a question here. What made you go to the fertility clinic? What was your diagnosis? And so let me see, what was something else? So was, what made you go to the fertility clinic? What was your diagnosis? And I think, you know what? I think I'll just go with those 2 for now. If I see like another question, then I will add to it. Okay. So, what made us go to the fertility clinic? So, I kind of did want to go to the fertility clinic to begin with. I was kind of thinking about it, only because I wasn't sure like how anything was going to work. We were really, really, really naive in the beginning of this process. So, at first we tried at home. So that's I have some like donor questions on here too. People are asking about the donor and things like that. I feel like maybe that should be a separate video, but I will say that we did try at home. Um, you know, with a insemination kit that I got online. So it was just basically sterile cups, syringes, pregnancy tests, ovulation tests, things like that in the kit. Um, so that wasn't working, obviously. So what happens with me, and this is gonna get like really personal, TMI, but whatever. I'm down to talk about it if people want to know and if they're down to listen. So all my life I had irregular periods. So there was like some issues with like finding out exactly when I was going to be ovulating. Not for a lack of trying though. Also when I was younger, there was some things, in the past that happened, where I was kind of told that I would not be able to have children. But then I had Jay, so my son, Jay. um, so I kind of like just was like, obviously that was wrong. Not necessarily, obviously. So it didn't work. We tried for a long time, and so we decided to go to the fertility clinic because when I was in the car, I heard a commercial for the fertility clinic that we went to, and they were giving free AMH testing, which is it your I can't fully say it. It's like a long word, something Malarian hormone count, which basically goes down to the simple terms of your egg count, how many eggs you have. So it's AMH for short. So that checks your egg count, and I went for the free testing because it wasn't working, So we were trying at home, I was having issues with ovulation, pinpointing my ovulation, things like that, issues with my period coming, not coming, things like that. So I went to the clinic, I got tested, got my AMH tested, and that came out great. My AMH was at a good number. It wasn't like super crazy high, but it was good. It was a good number. Nothing alarming, nothing to worry about. Um, so since my egg count was good and everything, I was like, okay, so maybe we could like keep trying at home or um, have a consultation with the doctor and kind of find out what was wrong. I was really nervous my wife was really nervous. We were nervous about like going to a fertility clinic in general because we just had this kind of general idea that it would be $1 million. Like literally, we were just thinking thousands and thousands of dollars to go to a fertility clinic. And I won't say that it was cheap, but it wasn't $1 million, clearly. So we went to the clinic, got the AMH testing done, all that. Okay, so back on track here. We decided we would go to get a consultation, kind of to see what was going on, what we could do, check out pricing, just see where we stood, basically. It was it was a while before we actually went for the consultation. Like I said, we just had this notion in our heads about it being so much money and just like not really, knowing whether or not we should do it. Not me personally, not being ready to hear the things I was scared to hear. So finally, we go to the consultation. At the consultation, I talked to the doctor. My wife's there with me. She's holding my hand. I had like this whole list of questions that I wrote down. Didn't bring the questions. Left the questions in the car. That was so dumb of me. But with to my luck, the doctor basically answered all of the questions on the list that, when I got back to the list, I saw it and I'm like, oh, he answered this. Oh, he answered that. He answered that. Great, great, great doctor. Great clinic. Great consultation. Everything. I had already, at this point, when we go to the consultation, I had already been going to the clinic to do fertile yoga, which is something that they provide for free. Just yoga to kind of put your body stable and helping to I don't know, grow your fertility, I guess, or just help you. Nothing crazy, nothing too stimulating, nothing that's going to like hurt or make you do too much strain. So I was already familiar with the clinic in that aspect. So at the consultation, the doctor has the questionnaire, we talk about things and everything, and just based off of the consultation, he was feeling pretty confident that I was having some infertility issues, just not known exactly what it was. So I had to get some testing done. So we had to go for a saline sonogram. So they checked my uterus, everything looked good. That was one appointment. And then about, I think it was like a month or two later, something like that, I went for an HSG test. So I have like a question that was asked, like, what was one of the hardest parts? One of the hardest parts was this test. Now, I don't want to scare anyone. Everyone experiences things differently. Everyone takes things differently. Everyone has a different level of pain they're able to handle, things like that. One, at the time of this test, I was going to cancel it. I wasn't going to go because at the time of this test, unfortunately, my aunt-in-law was in the hospital and she wasn't doing too great. And she wasn't doing too great. I was going to cancel the test because I wanted to be with my wife and be there for her and be at the hospital and everything. And she said, don't cancel the appointment, just go to the appointment and then you just come right back. Sorry. So I go to get this test done. And of course my head is like all over the place. My wife was not with me. And I really wanted her to be with me. But I understood. And I wanted to cancel. But she didn't want me to cancel. And I really wanted to kind of just do whatever I could. So I went for the test. And it was very painful for me, physically, emotionally. It was so painful. Um, and that is when I found out it was so painful because with this test, they have to put a dye into your tubes to check and see if your tubes are open, your fallopian tubes, where you need the egg, the sperm, you need all that stuff. Um, my one of my tubes is basically wrapped in around itself, open, but kind of like think of a twisty straw. And the other tube was partially blocked. Again, still open, but partially blocked, meaning that whatever sperm was in there was going to have a really difficult time trying to get to where it needed to go. And, you know, that just solidified that trying at home wasn't going to work. So we needed to go to the doctor. So that is how we decided to go to the fertility clinic. Basically because we wanted to know what was wrong, and then after that, because we found out that there was something wrong. It was kind of devastating for a few reasons. One, it was devastating because I was finding out that something was wrong. And two, it was devastating because I was alone. And three, it was devastating because we had to go to the doctor to get pregnant. I really wanted it to be a very personal experience. It was bad enough we had to, get sperm. Now to have to go to the doctor and do it instead of just being at home and it being intimate between us. So it was just not great. Not great to find out, but at the same time, thankful to find out because now we knew what was wrong, what was going on, and what needed to be done. So we got suggested the IUI, which I talked about in the first video. So that's how we ended up deciding to go to the clinic. But my diagnosis was basically my tubes were not what they should be. So that answers the second question. And then that answers another question of what was the hardest part. So in the beginning, that was the hardest part of the process of just, deciding to go, deciding what we were going to do. Now, I had questions about, about donors and the process we did at home and the process we did at the clinic and financials. So I have all these other questions that I have to touch on. I just want to note that this is our specific journey. This is our specific experience. Everyone and everything differs for everyone. So I don't want anyone to just take our journey and like run with it. Sure, you can get kind of an idea of things. You can get maybe a baseline, but always remember that you are a different person. Your experience is different. Your situation is different. Everything is different for you. So you should always ask questions and always, think for yourself. And it's good to get opinions, advice, and, to know that someone else is going through what you're going through or that someone else went through what you're currently going through and have someone to talk to. But always remember that you are an individual, so do not, just take in someone else's experience, someone else's journey, someone else's, things that they went through when you have your own thing to go through. I will be back because this is already a 15-minute long video. I will be back to answer more questions. I mean, if you want to know more about a specific topic of our journey, or if you have or if you want me to go into more detail about something that I've already talked about um in the first video or in this video, just comment below, let me know, and I will answer those questions. I mean, like I said, I have a lot of questions to answer, and I'm really, down to answer anything. So just let me know. Thank you for watching. Share if you like the video, subscribe, and check back in to see if I answer your questions in the next video. Thanks. Bye.